I guess we've all moved away quite often, since we're all here in Granbury, and I'm not a Texan, I'm a Kentuckian, and she's a Texan, I believe.
Right.
And
Right of it.
are all of you Texans?
I am absolutely.
Okay.
I'm a Yankee. I'm from Michigan, but...
Well, you've moved a lot.
Oh, yes, I've moved a lot.
What do you think is worse, when your good friend moves away, or losing touch with a good friend that's living nearby?
Well, I seem to be the one that moved away the most because being in the ministry, we lived in 6 different states, plus the state of confusion several times.
Yes.
And so it was hard for me to kind of solidify the friendship. But yet, going back to Michigan, like once a year or so, then I would get together with my high school friends. So it was a little bit different for me, and knowing how to evaluate the friends. And I find that after a while, and like if you're not close to a person, either geographically or emotionally, that you become acquaintances rather than good friends. And so, I don't know, what do you ladies think?
Well, I think the Christmas card letters that have become so popular have really been a good thing, because then you can keep up with people that you've known in the past, and their families and their children's children, and what trips they've taken and that sort of thing. And it really does help. I used to think, well, I don't have time to sit down and tell them everything that I've done, but we've gotten better about that in sending a letter and a Christmas card. But as far as telephoning or keeping up with friends, it's pretty hard to do. And we haven't been as good about it as we should.
I've been sending out a Christmas letter since 1958.
My goodness.
And I've been journaling that long. And I have people that just look forward to that Christmas letter.
We really do.
It takes a lot of time and effort, but people that we knew from way back when, they just cherish it because they remember our children when they were small.
The Christmas card that we got just a week or so ago had come back to the Koses. They were members of our church in the Houston area. And she said, your Christmas card came back, you must be downsizing. And I thought, everybody our age, that's about what we are doing, is downsizing.
Today for me.
Very today.
If we're wise, we are.
Yeah, right. Well, talking about the extended family, when you get together, a lot of people say, well, a day is good, 2 days may be tolerable, and 3 days is too long. Well, what do you all think about time with the extended family? How do you keep that pleasant?
Well, I think it takes 3 days for everyone to let their hair down and just get back to where they were.
Relax.
But I don't know how the hostess feels, but it seems that way with me.
Well, our family usually gets together around the Thanksgiving time, and we rent a place. And what we found was the best way to deal with it is each family, there were 5 of us, and each head of each family would take turns being the host. And then you allow a night where everybody goes around in the circle and tells what happened to them through the year, so that you kind of can keep up with. And it was a pretty good idea that way. Keeping up with all the children, though, was my weakness. I never could remember who belonged to who.
Well, do you use your old family recipes when you get together like that?
No,
You don't?
no,
Go for
we
something?
never get around to that. We all use Google now.
Oh, oh.
If you need a recipe for something, you Google it.
Is that a dessert, ma'am?
I've seen you on the computer, I know that.
Well, not many of us cook anymore, so we don't need too many recipes.
Well, I think it's really unique. You're talking about the letters, the long letters at Christmas time. Because I keep all of my Christmas letters from one year to the next. Because I forget what they said in those letters. And so the next year, when I write them a little note in my card, I want to make sure I knew what they said last year to me, so I reread to make sure that I don't ask her the same question, or they'll say, "Did she forget I told her that?" So to me, that is a good way, and also it keeps up with the addresses. And I always said, a long Christmas letter to be read when I don't have time to read this long letter here at Christmas. Well, I'll put it away and read it after. Well, time is just really of the essence at Christmas, because I'm always getting an inspiration the last minute, the night before, and I want to do 80,000 cards, a drawing.
I know what type you are. The type where everybody else is waiting for you to finish your Christmas present.
But this year, Fred said, we're going to move, we're going to make a move. Everybody's going to have a new address for us. I'm going to do a letter this year. This horrible letter that we fussed about it every year of our married life, almost 60. So he got busy and he wrote this letter out, and we had it printed at Staples over here. And boy, they were in the mail in no time, so everybody got a new address, knows where we are now, and we got so many calls and so many.
That's great.
So that really changed my thinking on
Yeah.
Christmas letters. Now, did we cover all that?
Well,
that covers thoughts of.
Yeah, I think we covered that subject. But there's a question here, what's the difference between being alive and truly living?
Well, I think being alive is just being a stick and existing, and truly living is enjoying life.
Did everybody see Secondhand Lion, the movie?
Oh, yeah.
Now that's living.
That's what I would say.
Those two old men really lived.
They did. That's one of my favorites.
I think very few of us get the opportunity, though, to do exactly what we want to do.
Well,
We
no,
don't have
but
a-
you can enjoy what you're doing when you're
Yes.
doing it too. And it doesn't have to be a program kind of thing. You just,
Well, I look around the table and I see women who have excelled in different areas, and I think that's something that you truly are living when you feel like you've succeeded in some area of your life, and it doesn't take much. You just got to find what area it is that you love, and then put your heart into it, and that's truly living to me.
It is.
I think truly living is, this is getting a little deep here, but is allowing the Holy Spirit to live within you and to love other people the way He guides you to love them.
That might be unlovely.
Yes. Could be anybody, anywhere, anything, you know. I mean, just doing what He would have you do.
Very good.
I think accepting people like they are, instead of expecting them to be like you would like for them to be.
Right.
Yeah.
There's a lot of hurt here from the past. People have lost loved ones, husbands, children.
They keep coming in the same condition.
And just because you get older, that doesn't mean you always get smarter, but I think we understand a little more
Experienced.
what's going on in people's lives. And if I see somebody sitting alone, I want to go and talk to them and see if I can help them or whatever, and sit with them.
And you do.
And some
We
are
see
ready
you
for
doing
that,
it.
and some are not, so some just need time alone.
But if you approach them the second or third time, a lot
Yeah.
of times they will respond.
There's something that I wasn't aware of when we moved here to Waterview, and that is that you are experiencing a whole group of people that have such interesting lives. And if you isolate yourself and don't get out and sit with that person who's sitting alone, you don't know
Your misfortune.
your misfortune. That's right, because everybody here in Waterview has such a great story to tell.
That's right.
And it's wonderful to listen to.
And little advertisement for Waterview, I did live in a different facility after I sold my house. And this place has an absolute wonderful facility in making friends and talking to other people, having a good time, making a lot of noise sometimes. So I'm really very grateful for Waterview.